In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful. Dear viewers, welcome to a new episode where we will deeply analyze a profound medical paradox that is currently captivating the oncology community. We are going to examine a medication that is universally accessible in almost every pharmacy around the globe, renowned as one of the most inexpensive pharmaceutical compounds ever synthesized, a drug I personally purchased for mere pennies. Traditionally and currently, this specific medication is the gold standard for treating common parasites and intestinal worms, making it a familiar name to pediatricians and households worldwide. However, through rigorous analytical research, scientists have uncovered that this simple, highly accessible molecule possesses the extraordinary capability to target and dismantle one of the most aggressive, complex, and deadly malignancies known to science: pancreatic cancer, DOT. To fully grasp the magnitude and the molecular brilliance of this discovery, we must first dissect the clinical reality and the biological architecture of pancreatic ductal adenocarcinoma. The epidemiological data surrounding this disease is grim. It is currently the third leading cause of cancer-related deaths in the United States, and predictive models suggest it may rise to the second leading cause within the next decade. The prognosis is heavily dictated by the stage at diagnosis. The 5-year survival rate for patients presenting with metastatic pancreatic cancer is a devastating 3%. This rate marginally increases to 13% if the cancer involves only local invasion and reaches 39% for localized disease. Overall, the general 5-year survival rate lingers around a mere 10% due to the disease's aggressive biological nature, its rapid metastatic dissemination, and its profound resistance to standard therapeutic interventions. Upon receiving a diagnosis of pancreatic cancer, the median life expectancy for a patient is often just 14 weeks. Only 10 to 20% of patients are diagnosed early enough to qualify for potentially curative surgical resection. Even then, recurrence rates are exceptionally high, with radical surgery only pushing the 5-year survival rate to roughly 20 to 25%. The remaining 80 to 90% of patients present with locally advanced or metastatic disease, where conventional cytotoxic treatments and multi-drug regimens have largely failed to offer substantial long-term survival benefits, often delivering only marginal improvements accompanied by severe, debilitating treatment-related toxicities. The pathology of this disease is intricately linked to a highly hostile tumor microenvironment. The genesis of pancreatic cancer typically begins under conditions of microenvironmental stress and chronic inflammation, causing normal pancreatic acinar cells to undergo a morphological shift known as acinar to ductal metaplasia. This metaplastic transformation is driven by an initial oncogenic activation of the KRAS gene, leading to the terminal reprogramming of these cells. This critical genetic alteration sets the stage for the development of low-grade precursor lesions, termed pancreatic intraepithelial neoplasia, or PAN-IN. As these PAN-IN lesions evolve from low-grade to high-grade states, they initiate a catastrophic localized response known as stromal desmoplasia. Desmoplasia is a massive fibroinflammatory reaction that essentially remodels the physical structure of the surrounding tissue. It leads to dense fibrosis and the pathological activation of pancreatic stellate cells. Once activated, these stellate cells secrete an array of growth factors and cytokines that accelerate tumor progression while simultaneously weaving a dense, impenetrable fibrotic shield around the malignant cells. This desmoplastic stroma actively facilitates tumor formation, invasion, and eventually systemic metastasis. This complex biological fortress is precisely what researchers at the Johns Hopkins University School of Medicine sought to penetrate. An extensive research team, led by the prominent neurosurgery and oncology expert Dr. Gregory J. Riggins, initiated a comprehensive investigation into repurposed pharmacology. They hypothesized that mebendazole, the active pharmaceutical ingredient in standard deworming medications, could exert profound anti-cancer activity at multiple stages of pancreatic tumor development. Mebendazole is an FDA-approved anthelmintic benzimidazole that has previously demonstrated preclinical efficacy across a wide spectrum of malignancies, including melanoma, lung, colorectal, brain, breast, and thyroid cancers. The analytical mechanism of action for mebendazole is remarkably sophisticated for such an inexpensive drug. It operates primarily through a dual pathway disruption. First, mebendazole exhibits selective binding to tubulin within cancer cells, actively preventing its polymerization. Because tubulin polymerization is an absolute requirement for cellular division, mebendazole effectively induces G2/M mitotic arrest and triggers apoptosis, or programmed cell death, even at low nanomolar concentrations. Concurrently, mebendazole functions as a multi-tyrosine kinase inhibitor, targeting critical signaling pathways including VEGFR2, TATNIK, and BRAF. By inhibiting the VEGFR2 pathway, the drug fundamentally cripples tumor neo-angiogenesis, starving the tumor by preventing the formation of new blood vessels, while simultaneously suppressing the release of pro-inflammatory cytokines that fuel the cancer's growth. To validate these biochemical mechanisms against the specific architecture of pancreatic cancer, the Johns Hopkins team deployed two highly rigorous, genetically engineered mouse models. The first was the KC model, designed to simulate early-stage disease and the impact of chronic inflammation. In this model, mice possessed the KRAS mutation, and researchers induced chronic pancreatitis using a pro-inflammatory peptide called cerulean. This accelerates the development of early pan-in lesions and stromal desmoplasia. The experimental group received a daily oral dose of 35 milligrams per kilogram of mebendazole. The histopathological data was extraordinary. Mebendazole-treated mice exhibited a massive reduction in overall pancreas weight compared to untreated controls, serving as a primary surrogate marker for reduced dysplasia and fibrosis. Detailed digital pathology analysis revealed that the total tissue area consumed by dysplastic pan-IN lesions was drastically diminished in the mebendazole group. Furthermore, mebendazole actively dismantled the desmoplastic shield. Researchers noted significant reductions in Massen's trichrome-positive fibrotic connective tissue and a marked decrease in alpha-smooth muscle actin, which is the primary marker for the dangerous activation of pancreatic stellate cells. The investigation then advanced to the KPC model, which represents the pinnacle of aggressive, advanced-stage pancreatic ductal adenocarcinoma. KPC mice carry both the KRAS mutation and a secondary mutation in the tumor suppressor gene p53, resulting in a clinical presentation that perfectly mimics advanced human disease, complete with deep local invasiveness, impenetrable desmoplasia, and highly lethal metastatic behavior exhibiting 100% penetrance. The researchers designed the KPC study to evaluate mebendazole as both an early intervention, beginning at 5 weeks of age, and a late intervention, starting at 10 weeks when the full spectrum of pre-invasive lesions is already apparent. The results demonstrated that mebendazole significantly suppressed pancreatic tumor growth in both the early and late low intervention cohorts. Tissue analysis at the conclusion of the study showed that mebendazole significantly reduced both pancreas and spleen weights across all treated subjects. Most critically, mebendazole fundamentally altered the incidence rate of the cancer itself. While 100% of the untreated control KPC mice developed advanced pancreatic ductal adenocarcinoma, the incidence rate plummeted to just 20% in the mebendazole early intervention group. The drug was measurably slowing the biological progression of the disease. Beyond halting primary tumor expansion, mebendazole demonstrated a profound capacity to disrupt the metastatic cascade. Metastasis to the liver is a primary driver of mortality in pancreatic cancer. Pathological evaluation of the liver tissues revealed that all untreated control mice developed severe, invasive metastatic adenocarcinomas, accompanied by moderate to severe desmoplasia within the liver itself. In stark contrast, the incidence and severity of these lethal liver metastases were drastically reduced in the mebendazole-treated group, indicating that the drug either prevented the malignant cells from escaping the primary tumor or neutralized their ability to establish secondary colonies. The translation of these preclinical findings into human oncological practice presents several compelling strategies. Dr. Riggins and his colleagues suggest that mebendazole's extensively documented safety profile and extremely low toxicity make it an ideal candidate for long-term clinical application. For the minority of patients who undergo surgical resection, mebendazole could be deployed as a critical adjuvant therapy to suppress the microscopic disease that inevitably remains, thereby preventing tumor recurrence and significantly extending the durability of the surgery. For the vast majority of patients battling advanced inoperable disease, mebendazole could be safely integrated with existing therapeutic modalities. By breaking down the fibrotic stroma and sensitizing the tumor, mebendazole could amplify the destructive effects of radiation therapy, targeted chemotherapy, or advanced immunotherapy without compounding the systemic toxicity burden placed on the patient. Furthermore, the data advocates for an aggressive approach to primary chemoprevention. There are clearly identifiable risk factors for pancreatic cancer, including environmental variables like smoking, which independently raises the risk 2 to 3-fold, as well as inherited genetic mutations like hereditary pancreatitis, which carries a lifetime penetrance of 40%. Additionally, patients identified with high-risk precancerous mucinous cysts face incredibly difficult clinical decisions regarding surveillance versus highly invasive prophylactic surgery. Administering mebendazole, potentially in combination with non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, could serve as a non-toxic chemopreventative strategy to actively suppress chronic inflammation and halt the initiation of neoplastic lesions in these high-risk populations before the disease ever takes hold. In conclusion, the meticulous research emanating from Johns Hopkins University provides a highly robust, mechanistically sound framework for utilizing a globally accessible, profoundly inexpensive compound against an otherwise intractable malignancy. While the imperative remains to design and execute well-powered clinical trials to definitively validate these findings in human patients, the mathematical and biological evidence presented in these models cannot be overstated. Mebendazole disrupts the fundamental structural integrity of the tumor microenvironment, paralyzes cellular division, and actively prevents the metastatic spread that makes pancreatic cancer so lethal. May God grant healing to all those afflicted and protect us from every harm. Peace, mercy, and blessings of God be upon you.